This episode is brought to you by Companion. Iris and Josh seem like the perfect match, but when a weekend getaway turns into a nightmare, Iris realizes that things aren't as perfect as they appear. From the creators of Barbarian and the studio that brought you The Notebook comes a twisted tale of modern romance and the sweet satisfaction of revenge. Companion, now playing only in theaters. Rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Hey Atlanta, Apple is open for small business. That's right. We're here to make starting and running your business simpler. With privacy and security built in on all devices, it's easy for you to protect your customers' data. And if you need hardware or software support, you'll get advice from business experts at no cost whatsoever. So you can focus more on the soup du jour and less on, the other stuff. At Apple, we're open for your small business. Go to apple.com/small business or visit an Apple store to learn more.
I knew it. Another Hurrdat Media production.
Hi, Chantel.
Hey, Roxanne.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've done, I feel like, because we've done 2 interviews recently and we recorded early last week. So aside from Patreon, I feel like we haven't talked to our lovely listeners.
I know. I hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah, we just uploaded the Joe Giudice interview today. We recorded that last night, I think, or I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know my days at this point. I can't believe we're still in January, but
we recorded, I know, the longest month. They recorded that Tuesday. Really and then...
Well, imagine being pregnant in January where your due date's in January and it's like the longest month ever and you're at the end, because that's how it was for Charlie. Charlie was due January 25th. I cried on my due date. She didn't come. She didn't come until January 31st. So her birthday is Friday, January 31st. 6 years old. I can't believe I have a six-year-old. Like, that's insane to me how fast life goes. And just very
funny is that, like, everyone, like, we're OG listeners will remember, like, how last year we kept like clowning on the fact that it was like Charlie's birthday versus my wedding, because Charlie thought she was going to Cancun for my wedding. And it's so crazy how, like, it's been a year.
You guys, time flies. That's so crazy. That feels like yesterday where I was like, Chantel won't let my kids come to her wedding. And it was like a whole debate.
Wow. And now it's been 1 year.
I know. Chantel said that she had a dream today that we both took pregnancy tests. And I was just taking one just to, for shits and giggles. And she said that mine ended up being positive and hers ended up being negative.
And you guys, like, I threaten her on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But she
basically told me she would quit this podcast. She's like, if you get pregnant, it's done. We are done. And she has told me, and honestly, it's so crazy because I've never felt this with my first 3. But with this one, I'm just like, I would never be able to have another kid. So it's just so much work and it's tiring and it's draining and it's the best thing all in one. And it's a lot on me and my husband too, so, and we both work like full time. I work a corporate job, he works too. So it's a lot. And we live in a place where our kids are sick constantly. And my little ones are in a Montessori and I think Elle's been sick for the last 2.5 months and it's like negative degrees. I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot. I think 3 to 4, I'm not going to lie. I always tell people though, if you're ever thinking about having that other kid, still have it, because when we get older, we're going to look back and be like, I wish I had more, or maybe you won't. But if you ever in your head think, should I? You should. But I will say for me, at least, because I hate those haters who are like, don't have more kids, don't blah, blah, blah. Not saying they're haters, but some people are like, I don't know how to explain it. Like,
yeah, I mean, and you guys, like, yeah, don't get mad at me. The reason I say is because I see her
not
struggle.
No. I'm not talking about you, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying in general, like if someone wanted more and they can handle more, like don't ever tell someone don't do it because like you think it's a lot, but like it's because of, what I see her going through.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, it reminds me of, we have this boy cousin and he got married. And then whenever anyone else would be like, oh, I'm going to propose soon, he'd tell like our guys, like, don't get married, don't do it. And we're like, but you're married. And then he had multiple kids. And then he's like, don't have another kid and like, don't have kids. And it's like, okay, don't like scare us into saying that we have multiple kids. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I hate that type of energy. So that's why I'm like, I'm not telling you don't have another kid or anything. I'm just saying for me, 3 to 4 has absolutely by far been the hardest, and it's also because it takes a village. You need help and you're working, and thank God for my mom. My mom drives me crazy, but she helps so much. Like even though like maybe it's not the way I'd want it or whatever, like she helps. So I am thankful for that. But I don't know. I just went on a tangent, you guys, per usual. And I'm sorry about that, but I miss you guys. I clearly needed to get this out. And we do have a lot to talk about. But Chantal, I do need to talk about the Rachel Kirkconnell and Matt James stuff, because you're under a rock if you're not following this. And it is honestly the craziest thing. A couple goes on The Bachelor. She's so sweet. And then they date for 4 years. You think they're going to get married because when you go on The Bachelor, he's supposed to propose at the end. He doesn't. There's like this, oh my gosh, I have to, Chantal just texted me and I have to turn that off. Joe Giudice had that, by the way, on our interview. Chantal, did you think anything about this?
Oh, it was no, I knew it was him because he kept looking at his phone. So I was like, oh my God, everyone's going to think that it's Roxanne, but it was him.
Yeah, it was like constantly like people calling and stuff. And I warned our like Patreon listeners and they were like, it's fine. We're used to it because of you. And I'm like, dead ass. But anyways, so Rachel Kirkconnell and Matt James, 4 years, he's like not proposing. They're traveling the world. He takes her to the place that she loves the most, Tokyo, tells her to find restaurants. And because he's like a food influencer on TikTok, I always engage with him and he responds to everyone. And I'm always like, you need to put a ring on, you need to put a ring on her. You need to put a ring on Rachel. And he'll like respond and put rings. And anyways, he basically breaks up with her and, she goes on a 12-hour flight to Tokyo. He posted on social media and then she does like a Call Her Daddy podcast. And the only reason she did it is because literally 3 hours after he broke up with her, he does this weird post where he announces the breakup. And
and it's so messed up because like she couldn't even tell her family before he posted on social media. Like who does that?
And she was on a flight back home from Tokyo because she was supposed to go to a baby shower. So it was a 12-hour flight and her Wi-Fi, her phone doesn't work in an airplane for Wi-Fi. So for 12 hours, everyone's texting and blowing her up saying, is this true? What is this? And just imagine that. By the way, if I was in the airplane, Chantal, like I would be having probably 300 panic attacks.
Oh, 100%. Especially she saw it right before she took off.
Yeah, right before, and then they take off. In 12 hours, you guys, I would be crying. I would be bawling. I'd be like, my stomach would be hurting. I'd probably be in the bathroom. Like someone would think something is wrong with me. Anyways, we find out that he's honestly he's just one of those guys who, made her wait. And I read a comment where someone's like, don't be surprised if he finds a girl like next year and proposes to her within 6 months, because I swear, man, those guys be doing that. They'll like make someone wait for years and she's the perfect girl. And then the next girl they're with, they will get engaged to, which is so crazy to me.
We've seen it before. We've seen it happen. And then they'll end up getting divorced because like they just have issues in their own, their own selves. Yeah.
Listening to her podcast, it was so relatable though, because I feel like in one way or another, we've all been through it. And you could just tell that she does want to get back with him, but she's not going to because of, and she even said, had he not posted that on social media and he wanted to get back, I probably would have. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I don't know. It was a lot, you guys. That whole thing is just so crazy. But like we said, Rachel just got her heart broken. Craig Conover, we love Paige, got, his heart broken. They both wanted to get married. They both wanted to have families. They both envisioned kids. We need Craig and Rachel to get together. It just makes the most sense. And again, we love Paige, but it just makes the most sense because they're both, in this world at that point in their life, and they would be a great couple. They both want the same things. And when you're with someone who doesn't want the same thing, it's an exhausting, draining relationship. So, I'm calling it now. Craig and Rachel are going to go on a date.
I love this. If they did, I'd be so happy.
And they would be such a good looking couple.
I mean, duh.
I know. And we'll talk about this on another episode because Craig on Southern Charm, though, was pissing me off beyond.
Oh my God. No, and you guys, it's one of those things where it's like you do something because you think this is your life, and then you don't even have that guaranteed. And then all of a sudden now
It's so embarrassing.
yeah, you're gonna have to be crawling back to all these people.
Like, okay, so you're feeling the same way about it.
Yeah, like I'm just like, he's just like this is my girlfriend. This is what I'm doing. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are not even engaged and you're acting this way.
I knew a lot of women who acted like that in my life. And then, but like, yeah, him acting that way, I'm like, this is not going to end well. Like, this is so embarrassing for you.
And you know what? If that is the way you're feeling, like, is that the way you're feeling now?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll talk about that in our next episode because we do have Beverly Hills and Salt Lake City to cover. And you guys were upset that we didn't cover Salt Lake City last week, but we did on our Patreon. So Chantel was out of town. You know, she's constantly living her best life. She's actually going somewhere at the end of this month, which I just can't.
We're not talking about it.
I know. And I'm like looking up trips while my kids are on winter break, but the flights are all $800. And I'm just like, why do we live in a world where everything is so much money? I just can't. My husband's like, I don't mind us going on trips, but like, that's a lot. And see, that's another thing with multiple kids, you guys, that's another thing. So let's talk Beverly Hills, you guys. I will say, I just have to talk about Sutton this episode because I just can't.
I know. Wait, you're annoyed with her?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, one of the main reasons
she does this for the show. There's no way she does it. There's no way she doesn't.
I don't know. I mean, so Kyle has a dinner and she invites Erica, Garcelle, and Sutton. She wants to apologize for leaving, you know, the last event and how she left. And Sutton definitely holds people accountable and she's pushing her. And right away, as soon as they sit down, she's like, so why are we here? And like her eyes like start like bulging and like they're so, you know, she's like, why are we here? Why are we here? And I'm just like, okay, calm down. First off, I get it. Bravo is not fucking with Kyle this season, by the way. I don't know if you're noticing it, but those clips that they showed.
They keep showing the receipts.
Yeah, where they're like, Kyle doesn't want to talk about anything, but here's all these examples of her saying, well, you have to talk about this to multiple different people. I'm like, damn. I'm like, not only is the world turning on Kyle, but I still love Kyle though, but I'm not liking her this season, you know? And not only is the world, but Bravo is, you know, putting their OG in check. And I'm sure she's not happy about that, but listen, I get what Sutton is doing where she's like, you know, she's doing this to rally her troops and she wants us to be a part of her troops and all this stuff. But imagine if you had a close friend like that. Like they're supposed to be close now. That type of friendship to me is draining, Chantel, where like someone is constantly just wanting to call you out.
No, I wouldn't like that either. Wait, real quick. In this dinner though, did you die when she like right away was like to Garcelle? Why did you tell Bose about the text message?
When Kyle asked Bose that?
Yeah, she asked Garcelle that. She basically like.
Garcelle, oh my gosh. Yeah, she asked Garcelle before any of them came, and you could tell Garcelle was dying though, low key.
I know.
Like, confessional be like, why wouldn't I? And I'm like, girl, you looked a little nervous. I felt that she did. Are you okay?
Oh, for sure.
I feel like you're absolutely doing something, and I'm not going to do this podcast if you are.
No, I'm not.
You're like pausing after.
I know, because it's just like I'm just don't want to be really loud. Don't say that because I'm in my office.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I don't know, but yes, that Garcelle thing was honestly, that was so awkward. And but it's like, Kyle, what did you expect to happen? I don't know. Maybe she thinks like Garcelle and Sutton has her back, but like low key, she knows they don't have her back.
Well, like I guess like what did you think? What really was a reason that she even actually did this meeting?
I am with Sutton. I do think she is trying to rally the troops and make sure they hear her side and that they have her back. And I do think that she's doing that. But it's interesting because you guys, when Kyle is talking about this stuff and Sutton is like calling out Kyle, like you just look at Erica and Erica looks at Sutton with disgust. Like you can just see she gets so annoyed of her because she's like the same old Sutton. Like you're always trying to put someone on blast. You're no one's friend. Like you just have to pay attention. The whole time I was just like looking at Erica, just like looking at Sutton because she doesn't stop. And you could tell that even Garcelle was like, damn, like Garcelle wasn't even saying anything. Garcelle was like stepping back and like allowing Kyle to talk, where Sutton just acts like, I don't get it. Okay. I don't get it. And that is, Sutton would be an annoying friend to have. But on the other side, I don't see Sutton acting like that with Garcelle.
Well, yeah, no, because Garcelle hasn't went through this traumatic experience that we've seen so far on the show, and she loves to do it on people that go through this thing, and she wants to be like the person calling them out, and it's weird. And that's why I was happy when Eric was like, okay, how were you guys acting when you guys went through a divorce? Like, did you guys had your moments? Like, why are we being so hard on each other?
I don't care what you say. Garcelle would never be friends with Sutton if it wasn't for the show. I don't
100%.
care. I don't care. And so Garcelle is planning an event at her home. Where is that house located, Chantel? Do you know?
I don't know. Is it Malibu? I have no idea.
Anyways, I'm obsessed with her house. I'm obsessed with how she styled it. I love it. It's so beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, it's so nice. And so she's hosting, a hangout with all the ladies, invite all the ladies. It's obviously a hike from where they live. It's like a couple hours, but they all meet up at Kyle's house, I think it was. And Dorit comes in and Dorit's talking to them about how her son Jagger found out about their separation. Like she's really been trying to protect him, and they found out through social media. And I'm actually intrigued. Like I'm interested in hearing about this. And Sutton was like, speaking of best friends, or I don't even know what the hell she said to change the topic. And she was like, she basically cuts Dorit off to be like, we got to get going. Garcelle wants it to be like a good vibe, and it's far. I've never seen something ruder than what Sutton did to Dorit in that moment. And it had nothing to do with Dorit. Like if Sutton did that to anybody, if anybody did that to anyone, it is so fucking rude when someone is going through something. And it's not like she's talked about this multiple times. She's said she's not going to tell her kids, which some people agreed with on the show. Some people didn't. And she's saying, well, he found out. And she's talking about how, heartbreaking and devastating and hard it is. And for Sutton, who's been through that, I was like, you have like the ugliest behavior. Like this all got to your head where you were a fan favorite because for a moment, because you went after Fox 5 when all of us couldn't stand Fox 5. And now that's gotten to your head and you think you can act like that. And it's like, no, were we wrong about you? I don't know.
I mean, I feel like we've always been on the pulse with her, like kind of being annoyed with her a little bit. I mean, I think we liked her for like maybe a couple episodes.
Yeah,
but
I liked her with like the whole Crystal thing. Like I thought she was in the right with that.
Yeah, she needs to learn how to read the room. She needs to learn how to be empathetic. Even though if you don't like somebody, this person is telling you a story of something that is really devastating to them. It's like the one thing that you should remember about probably in your divorce again is when your first kids found out or if they saw something, and it's a little different for her because she's on a show.
Even when Dorit, they even the robbery thing, they show a flashback of that. And I'm just like, that is such ugly behavior. And then if for Sutton to have went to Dorit a couple episodes ago and be like, I'm here for you. It's like, ew, you would be the last person. You're that person who has that eye on me. Like you want bad things to happen to me.
I know. I agree.
What do you think about Kyle, by the way, saying that she feels like the Housewives is like a cult almost?
I mean, it's true.
What are you talking about? Like a cult against her?
Oh, this is the first time in her life she's feeling that she doesn't have the upper hand. So in her perspective, like I can see why she thinks that.
Yeah, but then, the thing is, like I did see those flashbacks and it made me just question a lot when I saw those flashbacks where I'm like, oh, wow. Like, yeah, Kyle, you were very adamant about these things. So, we feel like you aren't as much now.
Wait, real quick, I want you to buy me the toaster that Jennifer bought. Like, did you know what brand that was?
What are you talking about? Oh,
Gabbana toaster that she got. Like, housewarming.
Do we have the money for that? What house?
No, but I want it.
What are you talking about? Why are we getting you a housewarming?
I'm just saying I want it. It's not housewarming. I just want it as a present.
It's $700, Chantel.
I know.
Oh my God.
It was fabulous.
Yeah. I don't find her to be necessary, by the way.
I agree.
Yeah. There's literally nothing.
It's cool just to have for fluff and be fun.
Yeah. So they go to Garcelle's house. It's stunning, beautiful. Oh my God. She has him wear this outfit, which was weird. I don't understand that. But when Sutton came down, I was dying.
I know. I think who was it? Bose that was like
Yeah, she was like, "Girl, like,
yeah.
where's your waist?" And Erica even
Uh-huh.
like down. Kyle's laughing. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." She does like, you know how people have different shapes. Like, you know, Chantel and I have a pear body. I feel like she has like a square almost. So that's
Yeah.
like hard. But I was just like, girl, like, no, 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 no. I don't know. That was not cute. But Dorit and Kyle end up having a conversation, and I felt like Dorit approached the conversation with Kyle well, where she looks at Kyle and she's like, listen, like, you did say this to him where you were basically saying like, you know, I like would never tell anyone what you say. And she's like, you know, you obviously felt close with him and you wanted him to have like loyalty. And it was like weird because Kyle was so defensive about it. And I'm like, dude, she's not even like coming at you hard right now. So
Yeah, like it's like, listen, because the thing is, Dorit is not stupid. She knows the relationship. She knows that the conversations that he has with certain people, he knows that she knows the dynamic the four of them used to have. Like, she's not dumb. She knows what they probably have spoken about this point. And all she's asking for is that you have my side and you just tell me everything that's going on.
right. Yeah. They end up moving forward, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see how long that lasts, if that lasts. I'm not sure. And yeah, I think those are like the main things that happened that I was like, you know, about. I don't know. Are we like
not a fun episode?
I didn't mind it. Are we like in Beverly Hills? What's our listeners thinking? Let us know. I'm very interested. I will say, so we talked about Salt Lake City part 1 on our Patreon. I thought it fell flat and it was a very boring episode. Part 2, I thought was a little bit better. I don't know.
So good. I loved it.
Yeah. One of the main things was that Todd talked about the emotional affair he had. And
do we believe that he actually had an emotional affair, or was it like a random text message that seems like iffy, or do we think that it actually is of like more than that and they're just not saying?
I don't know. The interesting thing was Todd was like, I haven't watched the episode that she tells the ladies. And all I do know is that, and then Bronwyn right away goes, we talked about it. We talked, like, you know, it's like Bronwyn is, yes. And Bronwyn is trying to downplay it now. And that's like what I don't like is like, you were intense. Like you had a full blown meltdown where you were like, you don't know what I've been through and how he cheated on me. And I was like, oh my God, wait, where did this come from? What? And so that was just like a very weird thing to me. And well, what I thought was interesting was Todd at one point says, you know, anything that Bronwyn shared would be more than I'd ever want her to share. And I was like, oh my gosh, like he scares me for sure. And he definitely scares her because she does like this weird thing where she always tries to like quickly reassure him. And then it just comes across like she's hiding something and she wants the conversation to end quicker. And I mean, I also get where he's coming from. Like he agreed to go on the show, but he probably said, I don't want the bullshit in it. Like I don't drag me in it. And look how she just randomly said this. Like no one even ever questioned that.
Wait, I was dying on the part that you know, he choked up when like they brought up the fact that you know, the daughter is the one that caught him texting.
I know. Yeah.
So then I was like, maybe there is some truth to these things.
Yeah.
She's not over-exaggerating. Yeah.
I think there's way more than truth to it. I think that she's downplaying it now because she's scared that she told them. I think there was truth or something. And, you know, and even Heather called her out and Heather was like annoyed with her because like Heather was like, bro, you were trying to downplay this right now and I'm not okay with it. And she's like, so don't try to downplay it. Did he do it? Did he not do it? And you could tell like Todd looked like he was dying. And then she goes and says, you know, I think the conversation went too far. And it's like, ma'am, you brought it all up. And then Lisa like looked and Lisa was like, and that's exactly why I didn't say anything. I knew your husband wasn't.
No, that was the best thing I think Lisa could have said the whole like reunion, even though she pissed me off this whole season. Like she really clocked it with at that point. She's like, and you got mad at me for not like going more crazy on the situation. And it ends up turning out it's like nothing.
And then Bronwyn even says that she like sometimes feels misunderstood and then it'll trigger her that she's not good enough. I don't know. That gave me some Britney vibes that I wasn't feeling. And I was like, okay. Now another part, I remember they were talking about Meredith, you know, saying her marriage is great. Do you think that her marriage is great? It sounds like that they're living apart.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, you know, her
Well, they're not
husband
going
said
to anymore because of Lowe's close, or what was it? Big Lots
Big
closing.
Lots, Big Lots. I mean, the fact that he said if they're at 51%, boo boo, 51% is failing. Like, I would never want my mirrors to be at 51%.
Is that what they said? I thought like living.
No, he said 51%. He's like, as long as we're above 51%, we're good.
Oh my gosh. That's so crazy.
We don't
I
do
don't,
averages here.
huh?
Like, I wouldn't do like 50% average. Like, we go above average over in this family.
I don't think Meredith is in like other relationships. Seth is like sus a little. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
I mean, to really be living apart for that long, I think anything can happen.
yeah, I do too. I mean, like you know, when I went in the office in corporate America, like I just feel like, yeah, definitely things can happen. So, I saw things, you know, so I don't know. I feel like with him, especially being that apart, one bad move, dude, one bad move, one person like looking at you and all of a sudden you get excited. So I don't know. Now, then we also talked about the Mary, and I definitely cried, you guys. I cried about his addiction, and that was just
Bawling, like crying, bawling, like the whole time. Even Andy started crying. Like, how did
once
this
Andy
happen?
cried, I lost it because it just showed that it hit home, even if like you can relate or you can't relate, just as a parent to go through that.
What was the thing that he asked her? That's when he started tearing up, that she thought that she was like, what was the word? I forgot what was said, but he basically asked her a question, and he choked up asking her this question, and like then everyone just like lost it.
Yeah. I think
Even Whitney was like hyperventilating in the corner over there.
was it about the suicide or no? I don't know.
No, it was about her dad. Just like her relationship with her dad.
No,
But
I was talking about like with Robert Jr.
no, he like just asked a question about like
I don't know.
like
It's fine if
him
we
not
don't.
being good enough or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also I thought it was interesting because Andy had asked her, what does your husband feel about this? And she's like, he's really proud of me about how I handled it. And I just wouldn't have expected Mary to handle it that way either. And I was like, man, like that even is a learning lesson for people that are going through this. Or like, what if we go through, God forbid, a million times, what if we go through this, you know, in the future? Would I have handled that, you know, away? Sometimes I feel like the way our parents gave us tough love, like I just hope that we aren't like that. Or
I would never want to be the way that my parents were with me. Like, I can't go to my parents with anything. So like I'd be terrified, which maybe makes me like not want to do stuff. But then like, you know, we would probably find other people to tell because they're so judgmental. Like Mary was not judgmental at all in that conversation.
I feel like if I had told, if that was me and I tell my mom that, and it's like, it's not like her fault. Like, this is just like how they were and how they were raised, what they know. But if I told her that, my mom immediately would be like, why'd you do this to me? Why are you going to embarrass me? Why did you, like, my mom would make it.
Yeah, they make it about themselves.
Yeah. Like, so it's like, I would never, or like my mom would be like, what did I do? What? And just like, and it would just be like so annoying to have that conversation, you know, where you'd be like, okay, I'll go to someone else next time. Thank you. You know, there are some things you can say, some things you can't, but yeah, you know, it was all a very sad thing. And, you know, I guess like the Angie thing was really sad too, because they had asked Angie like how it felt that Mary opened up to her. And we've never seen Mary open up like this. And Angie I remember she was like saying that she felt honored. And there was like a thing that Mary had said about her mom that, you know, if she could have done it all over, she would have never done what she did or something. Was it like that, Chantal? I think
It was. But the one thing that I thought that was very sweet too was like the whole conversation about Mary saying like because they kept asking her like, why are you so open? Like, what changed? Like, you've been on the show for like 5 years almost, you know? So it's like, and like for her, it was just like she just needed that one friend that she felt like that had her back a little bit. And it is crazy that it wasn't ever Meredith. It's because she knows Meredith low key like looks at her a different way.
Yeah, like Meredith is like convenience to have her, you know? I don't think that there was anything authentic about it. I don't think that they called each other and kikied and asked questions. Like, it was just very surface level. Like, I got your back, like on the show. It wasn't like, how's your family? It wasn't like, let's hang out. Let's get to know about each other's trauma. I mean, you know, let's trauma about it. It wasn't anything like that. But they really were so shady when they were asking about it. And then they went to commercial and they were having them look at each other. And I was like, they're being so shady right now. Like,
I know.
that Mary's like scared to say something. But yeah, I absolutely am obsessed with Mary and Angie's relationship. I really am.
Oh, it's such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 45% off select styles, plus a professional measure. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Did you think anything else about the boys, like Justin and John, like apologizing? Did you like anything else about what the boys had said?
I don't know. I don't know. I felt like that. I didn't care for anything that was happening with the guys. I know that Seth was like, if I ever saw someone, I'd be like, what did he say? What up, biatch? I was like, that's like,
he does that all the time.
Yeah. I was like, can you stop? Like, what are you even saying right now? That was like such a weird thing to say. But, you know, he had talked about like how they were drinking that day.
And I am excited to see Brittany come because I just think it's gonna be chaos. And like, I just can't, she's just funny. She brings like a funny, like crazy side.
Yeah. What did you think about Meredith having that meltdown?
I think she's dramatic. She loves leaving. She loves making that statement. If she's not getting her way, she doesn't know how to react. Yeah,
but also if she wants a clip and like if she wants something to be out there and they're not doing that, and it's like, okay, you're not going to control and edit this narrative. Because a lot of the time we talk to people and they're like, dude, they try to control and edit everything. And this is why I thought this, but they never showed that. So I kind of was like, okay, she's like standing up and standing her ground. But
she really was like, if you're not doing this, I'm leaving.
Yeah. But
and they did it. You guys, they showed it. They showed both clips.
Yeah. And then the whole like thing with, against Meredith and Angie, where basically they say that Meredith was, or I'm sorry, Angie's husband was like baited to say something. It wasn't even him who said something. And that happens all the time in interviews. They were definitely, I don't know. Andy was kind of like crazy about it though. I don't think Andy liked that podcast or something because he was like, okay, this is so dumb. Like what that person was trying to do was like dumb. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So
I know. I got that sense too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how I felt. It's crazy because everyone of our listeners is so into Salt Lake City. And I think it's good, but I don't know.
No, I love it. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's like you've loved it all season.
I have, but like, I guess maybe the reunion didn't do much for me. I don't know.
But sometimes it always happens when there's like a big season. The reunions are really not that great sometimes because like they're all still friends. And I think that's what I like too. They all go low, but they don't go that low where it's like, ew, that's disgusting. Like we know that next season they can all like work it out and hang out together. I like the group of girls.
Well, it's funny because Lisa came out and she actually started speaking about the reunion and stuff. And she talks about Whitney and she says that she wouldn't have asked Whitney back last year or this year. She's like, her storyline this whole year was a lie. Like, I don't give a shit about your business. And she said that she like once had a soft spot for her. And she's like, I've always had that soft spot for Whitney just because she's always been the youngest on the cast. And I think we all felt bad for it, but it gets old with the lies. And when you're lying about somebody, you're perpetuating lies and saying that's their behavior. Well, Whitney should look at her behavior. And then I thought what was funny was Lisa was defending her personality and she was like, I have a strong personality. I know who I am. I don't do anything that I'm accused of doing. They always want to put me down, my business. Well, no one else has what I have. No one else has built something that can sell for hundreds of millions of dollars. Like they haven't done that yet. And then she says,
but that doesn't mean you're a good person.
Yeah. She says, I feel like because I came on the show self-made and like 10 steps ahead of some of the girls, I think it's hard for them. So are you still liking Lisa?
No, I mean, I think like I'm okay with her. I don't hate her, but I think this season she should have like, she needs to learn how to self-reflect a little more. And it's not them always coming after you. Like you do things that are a little bit more selfish. You do things that are like not like the best. So you should have some self-reflection here.
Yeah. You guys, by the way, Gretchen Rossi is coming back to Orange County and I am so freaking happy. I'm sure Alexis feels so embarrassed right now because I don't know if you guys remember Alexis, or no, it was Gretchen who turned on Alexis for Tamra. But like, anyways, they ended up not being friends. And I just hope, you guys, more than anything, that Gretchen comes into the season because they started filming. And I just hope that she comes into it and she does not fall for Tamra. Because
but listen, but like I agree, but like imagine you are now walking in again to her turf. So I think she's smart enough, but then she also has to play it right because when Alexis came in last season, like she thought she was doing everything right, and then like the viewers were like, "Oh hell no!" So it's like,
Alexis has always been like that.
I know, but like I also think you just need to know how to play it. But I also, if she's kissing ass, I'll be pissed. But she does have to like watch and kind of sit back a little bit too.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think you remember this, but Gretchen, like Tamra did horrible things. Gretchen was a bitch to her. And finally, Tamra got Gretchen to be on her good side when she found Jesus. And then Gretchen ended up going against Alexis. And then Tamra ended up churning on Gretchen. Like, it was so bad. You guys have to watch that season. And then guess what? Gretchen never came back. So Tamra like literally played the shit out of Gretchen after putting her through hell. That's why it's like, I hope that she comes in and she knows. And because we've always said everyone's scared. Heather Dubrow, she is the most scared human of when it comes to Tamra. Heather's not
coming in as a friend or full time
friend of.
Okay,
and
I like that.
Let's see, yeah. So I just hope that Gretchen comes in it and she knows you are the one person.
Listen, you know what she needs to do? She needs to, because right now she's friends with like Katie and Jen a little bit. We've seen them all do the triple dates. She needs to come in and befriend Shannon so hard and be Shannon's friend.
Shannon posted a picture of them together.
Wow.
A little bit of
I need that to happen.
Yeah. So we shall see. I'm so excited. I mean, they said Orange County, the last season was their most popular season. So if there is one show I would be I'm excited for, it's going to be that one, no matter what.
And they just started filming yesterday, right?
Yeah, like a few days ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely super excited for that. Another thing I wanted to talk about, Chantel, and I wanted to see what you said. So Andy at the reunion, I think he had asked someone on New York or on the Real Housewives of New York what work they've gotten done. And so someone tweeted Andy and they were like, Andy, the millions of women who watch these franchises are tired of you asking women what work they have done. This isn't 2009 anymore, and women can do whatever they want to their face bodies. It's time to retire this question. It's rude and does zero for the viewers. And Andy said, what work have you done remains at the top of the list of viewer questions every season, every franchise. The Housewives have unabashedly let us into their beauty resumes since day one. It's a big part of the series DNA. Whose side are you on here?
Andy's. I mean, I want to know, like, he said it to Jessel. I watched the reunion, actually. He said it to Jessel, and like, and he's like, you look like, he said it in a nice way. He's like, you look like you got a glow up. Is there anything?
We knew, Chanel, we called that, by the way, that Jessel was going to look different season 2.
1000%. Second season glow up is real, you guys. And she said, she tried to play it off like it was a sprinkle of Botox. And then I do think the way he went in a little bit was hard, but it was because the other ladies were like, no, this is not okay. You've done more. And then she's like, and I've lost weight. And then he's like, he kind of was like, that's it. She goes, I didn't say that's it. And then all the ladies went crazy a little bit. And she goes, let me finish. And then she goes, and I've gone fillers. And then Brynn made it seem like she didn't pay this girl. And she's like, don't tell me I didn't pay her. We had like an agreement about posting it. And she's like, I did post the reel. Then, so Andy's like, okay, that's all you had done. And then he looked at her and goes, your teeth look different. And she goes, I got veneers. It's like, so I'm kind of happy, like, call them out, because it's not okay that people can just look this way and act like they just got a sprinkle of Botox.
I agree. Yeah. And like, don't lie about it too. That's so annoying. And especially if you look,
and if you want, listen, you could say, I would respect if anybody said, I washed myself. I didn't love how I looked. I don't feel comfortable sharing with what I did, but I did do things, and that's it. And then they shouldn't press it anymore. If that's how you want to approach that situation, you can. But don't sit there and be like, and she's like, I wasn't done, Andy. And he's like, okay, you made the sentence like you were done.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's such a good point. I will say, and I want you guys to know this, like, for example, we sat there and we always ask, every interview we do, we ask listener questions, because we don't want to just ask. We don't want to get feedback like, you didn't ask good questions. So Tell us what you want us to ask and we'll ask it. So like, for example, the Joe Giudice interview, we've never interviewed Joe Giudice. A lot of people had questions about Joe and Melissa. He doesn't do interviews like that. So we ask those questions and then you'll have people like, why are we still talking about Joe and Melissa? Well, because you guys asked us. Like there are people who asked us to ask these questions. That's why. So while it might not be popular to some people because they don't like Joe Giudice or whatever it could be, listeners want to know this. So I get that it's inappropriate or whatever, but no, we want to know this. And also, yeah, I do want to know if Melissa Gorga denied having a nose job 4 times. Like, come on, like your face entirely changed. We want to know what you did. Or maybe like, what if I wanted to do it? And I'm like, what do they do? Like, so I think they definitely, not that they owe us that, but it's fair to ask.
I agree. Sorry, I was drinking water, but no, 100%. I think it's fair to ask. Like, this is what the show's about at the end of the day. And I think that anybody can say no to answering it. I think they could just say it respectfully, and just make it seem like I don't feel comfortable saying it at this moment, but I did do things, but just don't lie.
Yeah. By the way, what did you think of our Joe Giudice interview overall? Did you say?
You know what? Sometimes like this happens, like when we're in it, because we're living it, and like we're kind of focused on answering the questions and making sure we're listening and making sure we're responding correctly and like all those things that I didn't realize how much, like how many people are obsessed with this so far. Like the amount of comments we've got, like, this is our best interview, this was amazing, we needed to hear this. Like he dropped a lot of bombs, but I think when we were in it, I forgot, so when I was listening back, I was like, whoa, he really spilled the tea.
Right. Yeah.
What did you think?
No, I thought it was good because, he hasn't asked those questions. And I guess I was scared to ask him. Like, I was like, I don't know if he's because he doesn't care about this bullshit. Like whether you like him or not, he's so authentic in himself. Like he doesn't give a shit, he doesn't care what people think about him. He doesn't care about any of that stuff. Like he's not going to lie about this, so I thought it was interesting, but I get annoyed when people are like, oh, that he's talking about the Gorgas. I mean, Melissa and Joe have been talking about Teresa and talk about Joe multiple times on her podcast. And it's like, I don't
talk about her. The whole story, the reason why any of us know him and want to know about it is because of the whole situation. He fought with them for 3 seasons. Like, what do you guys mean?
Yeah, I know. I agree. So,
and it wasn't just about them. There was more to it too. But yeah, his story is involved with them and vice versa. But I just think it's about lying about it, making it seem like you don't care. Like that's when people are not authentic. That's what we get annoyed about.
You guys, so Chantel's for 1 year wedding anniversary is on Sunday, and she is going to be coming to Charlie's birthday party.
Yeah, I'm not going to stay the whole time though.
It's like 2 hours.
Why is this again my life a year later and we're still dealing with
oh my gosh
birthday?
I mean, it's your goddaughter, dude. You guys, I'm like, does anyone else want to be my child's goddaughter? Because I can't. Well, I'm having a classroom birthday party for Charlie where I invited all of the kids in her class. And I did that because Charlie is always been excited about her birthday, and I never want a kid to not feel included. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to invite family. Like I can do something separate with family if I'm going to invite, because when you invite family and cousins and then you invite, that's all too much. And Charlie's going to hang out with her cousins, not like her classmates probably. So I just did the classmates, and I'm interested to see how it goes. But it's a bakery where they're each
and somehow Chantel's invited, and I'm here with classmates.
Well, I need help. So
exactly. There it goes, you guys.
Yeah, I definitely need help. And I just need you, you're my rock. I just need you to, you'll be like, dude, hello.
Nervous regulator over there or something.
Yeah. And each of the kids are going to be making a pizza, putting it in the pizza oven. It's like an Italian bakery. And then they make a cake. Each of them decorate a cake and they color. And I just feel like that's different. And they're all together. Whereas in some birthdays you can have for people and everyone's separated. So I like this vibe. So we will let you know how that goes. And if Chantel stayed and if she was bitching the whole time.
I will let you guys know. But we have to go. I have a call that I have to do at work. So we love you guys. Hope you have a good episode.
Bye, guys.